Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. It has been a little while since I've uploaded, but I wanted to go ahead and put out another video and do something a little bit different this time. So I mentioned in some of my past videos how I wanted to get into talking about finance, investing, and money in general, and I decided why not go ahead and make this video. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the investments that I have personally and my net worth. So as you guys can probably see through the title or thumbnail, my net worth is $337,516.43. Now in this video, I'm going to be going over each one of my investment accounts and just showing you guys where my money is allocated. I'm not going to be doing a deep dive in the different type of individual stocks or cryptos that I have, but I will give you guys a simple rundown of each of my investment accounts. And if you guys want to see a video in the future of me talking about specific stocks and cryptos that I hold, please let me know in the comments or leave a like on this video. I can definitely do that in the future. I just don't want this video to be too long and overdone. I want to mention a few things before I go ahead and jump into talking about all my investments. Firstly, this video is not to brag or show off and talk all about my money and how much money I have. I wanted to make this video to show that you don't need a huge income and you don't need a ton of money to begin with in order to build a pretty decent financial portfolio and hopefully maybe one day retire early or buy something, a house, or buy something you really wanted. Rolling into my second point I want to talk about is I'm 26 years old. I started investing when I was about 15 years old through my first job, and I'll talk about that a little more in this video. And I've had a few different jobs throughout that time, but my main thing is every dollar that I show today is all invested by me. I never had any big inheritance. My parents never made an investment account for me. No one ever gave me large sums of money to invest on my own. And another big thing that I think will resonate with a lot of people is I have never made more or never taken home more than $60,000 a year. If you guys don't know, I live in the United States, and $60,000 isn't exactly a ton of money. I don't think it's horrible, but I think a lot of people, when they think about big salaries, they think about $100,000 or more. And $60,000 is at the high end of more closer to what I'm making now. When I was younger, I've made sometimes half of that or even less, but I'd say on average, I've made between $35,000 to $50,000 throughout my working lifetime. So hopefully that gives you guys some hope that if you guys aren't making a ton of money like me through your job or main income, that you can build a huge portfolio through investing and really make a good financial life for yourself. So we're going to go ahead and roll right into it. I'm going to start off with my crypto accounts. So I put a couple screenshots on the screen right now. As you can see, one is around $9,000 and the other one is around 100 to 101,000. Now, as you can tell, crypto is about a third of my net worth. This wasn't ever originally planned. This crypto includes, Solana and Bitcoin mainly, and a little bit of Atom and some other random, assortment of cryptocurrencies. Basically, a couple years ago, around 2022 and 2023, and even 2024, I started really investing into crypto. I was doing daily buys, some lump sum buys here and there, and I would say I've invested around probably $40,000. And as you can tell, this turned into over $110,000. A little side note on this is that I think some of investing, or a decent amount of it, is just based on luck. Obviously, none of us really know what's going to happen in the future. So whenever you invest, you're taking a little bit of a risk or educated risk judgment that you think either a stock or whatever investment is going to do well in the future. I simply just bought it because there was a lot of hype around it. I'd seen a lot of videos of people explaining it, and it seemed to make sense to me that especially Bitcoin would be a force to reckon with basically in the future, and that it would grow in value. So I personally believed in it, and it has done really well. Obviously, going from 40,000 to 110,000 across my crypto portfolio in just a couple years is pretty insane. So I feel really grateful and really lucky that that has grown so much. Now, my future plans with these accounts is just to kind of see how they play out and go. As I mentioned before, I never planned for a third of my net worth to be in crypto. I do think that's a little bit heavy of an allocation, but it wasn't originally like that. It just grew so fast compared to my other investments that it became the larger allocation. So I'm just going to hold on to it. I'm not investing any more huge lump sums into these accounts. I'm just simply seeing how they play out. But moving on to the next investment, I'm going to show you guys my Roth IRA. Now, this is a little bit different compared to the crypto. I've actually been, I'm 26 as I mentioned before, and I've been investing in this account since I was 15. So that's about 11 years, and as you can see, it's way less than or it's not way less, but it's a little bit less than the crypto, which is pretty insane. I'm not going to go into too much specifics about these different types of retirement accounts. I will probably do videos later on where I talk more about how they work and what are some of like the tax benefits of them. But for this video, I'm just simply going to be going over how much money I have in each one. So this was originally a 401k, and I started out, like I said, when I was 15 years old. I worked at a grocery store part-time in high school, and surprisingly, they offered a 401k option for part-timers. So I put about 55% of my paycheck at the time when I was a teenager, and 55% of my paycheck at the time was, probably $150 a week. I wasn't making I was making minimum wage, and I was only working probably 20 or 30 hours. So it wasn't a huge amount, but obviously 55% now for me would be a lot of money with all the bills that I have as an adult. But once I left that job, I eventually, since you can only have a 401k with an employer, I eventually transferred it over to a individual retirement account, the Roth IRA, which I have now. And I've been maxing this out every year for the past 11 years, or 10 or 11 years now. And the max amount you can invest kind of changes every year, but it's been around $6,000 to $7,000 in the past few years. But as you can see, that has done pretty incredible for me. I'll have to look at the numbers and see how much I put in and how much I've made off of what I put in. But last time I checked, I think it was around 30 or 40,000 I've made from what I've put in. So I've probably put in around 60 to 70 and made about 40, which in 11 years is, I'd say it's really, actually really good. And obviously the more money you have, the more money you invest, the more money you'll probably make in the future. So, with me maxing it out, I expect it to do very, very well. So I'll continue to max out my Roth IRA every year. Moving on to another account, another retirement account actually. And this is my TSP, or my Thrift savings plan. Now, if you guys have never heard of this, it's a little weird, but it is basically a 401k from the government, or specifically from the United States government. This is for people that were in the military. That's how I got this account. I was in the military. Also for government workers like post office employees and other types of government employees. This account is about $24,258.32. Now I will also have to kind of pull up and see how much money I've made off of the amount I put in. But I invested in this account when I was in the military, and now that I'm out of the military, I don't really put any money into it. I still have the account. I haven't decided to transfer it over to anything. I decided I'll just leave it. And actually making this video, I'm thinking more and more, I probably should be transferring it over to my Roth IRA or some other type of investment account, especially if it's just going to be sitting there. But I know it has done me pretty well because I followed the S&P 500 with it. Just like my Roth IRA, I followed the S&P 500 on there as well. So they've both, I've grown about the same relative percentage amount. Now I'm going to move into another retirement account I have, and that is my current retirement account, which is at $6,894.03 as of this video. And I actually see the rate of return on the screen here. The cumulative rate of return is about 28%, which is quite a bit. So now this account is with my current employer, and I do about 8% of my paycheck, and they match 4%. And I've had this account for just about a year now, so it's grown pretty decently. And it's done pretty well. And I'm just going to continue to invest the 8% into it. I don't plan on changing that percent, mainly because I'd like to put money into the next account I'm going to go over. And I feel like I have a lot of money in retirement accounts, which is good because a lot of them have tax benefits. But personally, I want to hopefully retire early, and I want to be able to access my money earlier. So if your money's tied up in retirement accounts, although there is tax benefits, you usually have to wait till that retirement age to, kind of cash in on your investments. So if I want to retire at 30 or 40 or whatever it is, or take some money out, then I want to keep it out of retirement accounts so I don't get, taxed or have some unnecessary loans and fees on my retirement accounts. So moving on to my last account. So the last account I want to talk about is my Robinhood investment account. This is not a retirement account. It's just a simple, just regular investment account. I can sell or buy stocks, at any point I want to. So it's about $87,365.73. My total return on this account is about 68%, which translates into about $35,472.52. Which is incredible. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm not going to go into individual stocks that I have within this account and my holdings, but in a future video I can if you guys would like to see that. So I'd say I mainly started this account probably around 2020. I had thrown a couple $100s in there when I was a little bit younger in my teenage years, but I didn't really start investing into it until I was about 19 or 20 years old. But since then, I do an automatic deposit every day into this account, and I buy stocks automatically Monday through Friday without even having to really think about it. My main goal for this account moving forward is to basically use it towards my early retirement that I mentioned before. My future plans is just to continue what I'm doing right now, investing in it every day and just seeing where it goes through the bear markets, through the bull markets. And, when I feel comfortable that I'm making enough to sustain my life, then that's when I'll probably start to, dip into some of the dividends or possibly sell some of the stocks just to, go live and enjoy my life. So that wraps up all of my investment accounts. I do want to go ahead and, just talk about a few things at the end of this video. And I really like to emphasize that anybody can do this. I'm not a huge stock guy. I'm not super analytical. I'm not super smart. I simply did some research, made a lot of investment mistakes. I've lost some money over the years on some of these stocks, but I've just done some basic, YouTube video searches and research online from people that are way smarter than me. And I invested mainly, index funds and that sort. I don't go crazy with individual stocks, but I can get into that in a different video. So if you're in that mindset that, oh man, I need to make 150 grand a year before I can even start thinking about investing or start thinking about retiring early or being financially free, stop thinking like that, man. And that's not to say that, like I said before, I haven't been lucky. Luckily, my parents, raised me pretty well with this financial mindset, but also provided for me throughout my, teenage years and up until I was 18. And like I said before, I've also gotten really lucky on some of these investments. As you can see, they've grown quite a bit. And will I go ahead and say this is easy and quick? No, it's not. The biggest thing that's got me here, guys, is just consistency. Like I said before, I automatically invest most of my money, every day of the week. I don't make a lot of big bets. I don't go, oh, I'm going to put 10 grand into this stock and see how it does. I simply just invest in the same things every day, and they just, have turned out like this for me. Another thing, which I'll probably touch on in a different video, is just your lifestyle choices. Now, I still go out and, buy meals and hang out with my friends and go on, small trips and vacations here and there. I live a pretty mindful lifestyle when it comes to how my money is allocated. But that doesn't mean I don't have fun and I don't leave the house. There's a middle ground that can be reached. You can still enjoy your life and be quite happy without overly spending or being too frugal. But if you guys would like to see more of these videos, please let me know. I'll probably be putting them out regardless, especially getting into some of my more specific investments. Like I said before, guys, there's people who've made way more money than me. I am not the best at this, but I think I've done pretty well. And I'm pretty satisfied with what I've done and what I'll hopefully continue to do. But I want to say thank you again for you guys viewing this video. And also, guys, thank you for I think we're at 58 subscribers as of this video. And you guys are awesome. I really, really am actually quite shocked and surprised. So thank you guys for viewing and commenting. I love responding to you guys. So please leave a comment down below and I will be sure to respond. Other than that, y'all, thank you all for tuning in. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. So peace out, guys. Talk to y'all in the next video.